I think people really struggle with the idea that the pro-extinction movement is a real movement that can actually achieve its goals. Most people seem to see it as a fringe, crazy movement, extreme, radical, something that won't be taken seriously, but actually it's the opposite. So the thing is, we have an extreme moral obligation to end and prevent extreme suffering, bad lives, extremely bad lives, the worst lives. All of those who don't benefit from being forced to exist are essentially the worst victims and the worst sufferers on this planet. So we have the moral obligation for those who are worst off. We are the only ones looking to prevent and actually treat their suffering, those who suffered the worst, right? Whereas if you're against extinction, then you are actively condemning them to be tortured and to suffer, to have bad lives, extremely bad lives, all of the above, right? You are essentially saying it's fine for them to be forced to exist and to suffer, for them to be murdered, to be tortured, because that will keep happening. And there's no way to guarantee that won't happen without extinction. If I have a child now, I can't guarantee they won't have an extremely bad life. But if I don't have them, I can guarantee they won't have an extremely bad life. And that is definitely the right thing to do. So yeah, the thing is, it is a real movement, and it's actually very realistic that we will be successful. Now, because firstly, again, we have a massive moral obligation on us, the biggest moral obligation, bigger than anyone else has. Who else can claim that they have the biggest moral obligation? Vegans are looking to help a small minority of sufferers and to only help a small minority of the suffering involved in animal industry. They aren't against existence and the extreme suffering and victims that come along with it. They are pro-life and pro-suffering, just slightly different. So that's wrong, that's unfair, and they don't have as many victims relying on them as we do. So we have the biggest moral obligation, effectively. And that is why we will be successful. And it's not an unrealistic thing. The greatest obstacle to extinction and extinctionism is the resistance from the population and that everyone is against it. So that is our problem to solve, and that is our challenge, our obstacle. But we're aware of it, and we are actively working to solve that problem. And when you have such a massive moral obligation and virtually infinite victims relying on you, as we do, and in that you can argue against extinction any way you want, but it is a fact that there are an insane number of victims who will benefit from extinction. So they are relying on us, okay? That's not really questionable. So given our massive moral obligation, the insane number of victims desperately relying on us, and our responsibility as such, yes, we have all the motivation in the world to overcome the problems that stand in the way of defending the victims of abuse, defending the victims of forced existence and extreme suffering, right? So we have every reason, every motivation in the world. We have morality on our side, we have ethics on our side, whereas everyone else is, happy to condemn others to suffer for benefit, which is an inherently and objectively evil and immoral system. So we have, the right side with us, we have morality with us, we have virtually unlimited victims relying on us, depending on us to get this done. Every future victim of torture is depending on us, right? We have to help them. We have to defend them, protect them, and save them, because the system we live in is so hostile to them. It is exploiting them, enslaving them effectively. So yeah, basically, I just wanted to say it is a realistic movement. We are, aware of the challenges, and we are working on them. And that's the right thing to do. And it's more than possible, okay? We don't have to achieve extinction tomorrow. It may take hundreds of years, but we have to fight for what's right. And what's right is no babies being tortured to death.